No, I just want to say I think we're making really good progress on what I hope is one of the most important budgets in the state in a long time. Could be a real game changer if we play it right. With a big focus on economic growth, get this state moving again, and economic opportunity for all of our citizens, with a special focus on those who are hit hardest by COVID and left behind over the last generation. I think we have broad agreement with the legislature on what the building blocks of what this budget, what this economy can mean. You know, as you know, it starts with the biggest expansion of daycare and childcare in the history of the state. And what that means in terms of giving kids the very best start in life, and what that means in terms of allowing their parents to get back to work. We've reached agreement on the learning camps, the summer learning camps, to help those young people get back in the game and allow their parents to get back to work. We've reached broad agreement on where we're going on education, not only the federal money and the wraparound services and the supports that our kids need and the supports that our teachers need. But in addition to that, full funding of ECS, the revised formula for ECS that puts a special emphasis upon those schools hardest hit, those schools with English as a second language, make sure that they get that opportunity. We've reached agreement on workforce, knowing never again are we going to allow thousands of jobs to go unfilled because we're not training people for those jobs and what that means, and the significant funding there starting early in the new fiscal year. I will tell you that this budget has also got one of the biggest investments in municipal aid this state has ever seen. And that means that our towns and cities are going to have the support they need as we dig out from COVID, and hopefully make sure that our towns and cities have the building block, the foundations, that they can continue to grow and prosper, because Connecticut will only be as great as our towns and cities are. Really pleased that working off of the exchange in Obamacare, it's really one of the largest expansions of health care, accessible, affordable health care for more people than ever before, and what that means going forward. These are sort of the building blocks of what this budget is all about. I'm particularly pleased that it looks like, it's always late, I don't know why it always takes everybody to the bottom of the ninth inning to really hit their stride, or hitting our stride. I'd like to think we're going to have a budget done on time. And there's a real chance, this doesn't happen very often in this building, a real chance that it has bipartisan support. So I really thank the folks on both sides of the aisle taking a look at that. It's a bold, progressive budget, and we do this without any tax increases. That was a promise that I made early on, and it's a promise we've kept, and it's a promise we've kept to folks who deserve that chance, deserve that opportunity, and that's what this budget's going to do for people.
Governor, are you disappointed that the TCI, maybe you didn't work hard enough on TCI?
Maybe. We worked hard on that. I mean, the environmentalists felt really strongly. Everybody here pays lip service to the environment. They know how important it is, but when push comes to shove, sometimes it's hard to get them to stand up and cast a vote that matters. I know there's still some discussions going on. I've certainly talked to Charlie Baker over in Massachusetts and Rhode Island and some other states who are watching a pro-environment state like Connecticut not be able to step up, and hopefully we're going to be able to revisit that soon. It's really important.
Governor, can you tell us what's going on with the cannabis legislation? It passed the Senate. There was an amendment that was made so that a provision was taken out of it. What did you have to do with that?
Well, first of all, I'm really glad it passed in the Senate. I'm glad it was bipartisan, barely, but bipartisan. I understand that there had to be an amendment at the last moment. Something got into that bill that was, unawares to me, unawares and wrong. And we got that out of there. I got to make sure that people have confidence in what this bill in particular means and what we're trying to do, in the Capitol. I want you to know that the cannabis bill has been contemplated for a long time around here, many years. I want you to know that we started meeting with the Equity Commission 6+ months ago. We submitted our bill when it came to cannabis. I think it was 4 months ago. I think it's time for folks to vote. I think it's time for them to make up their mind whether you want to have a legal, regulated market for cannabis or kick it down the road for another period. I think they're ready to vote on it and pass it.
Does that first draft tarnish it? Does that, I mean, the fact that they had to remove that provision to benefit that individual?
I think if we hadn't caught it, that wouldn't have been good. We caught it and got it out of there. It's a good bill. Vote for it.
Are you resigned from the special session on cannabis, Governor? It seems like the Republicans are willing to talk the session out if it comes up.
I don't know. If they want to talk for 8 hours, talk for 8 hours and go to a special session. If you want to make up your mind and vote, do it on a timely basis.
Speaking of making up your mind, do you know what you're doing regarding the solitary confinement bill, the clean slate bill, some of the things that the criminal justice advocates have been waiting for an answer for you on?
Yeah, I understand they've made some changes on the clean slate bill. I got to look at that. I think the bill has gotten tighter. I think that's a good thing. I think I've got to make up my mind on that in a few days. Give me a chance to read that. I'd say the same thing on solitary confinement, but I'm inclined to support both of them.
And prisoner phone calls, making those no cost?
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I spoke very early on. I thought it was not right that we were charging a big surcharge to folks who are incarcerated so they can call their loved ones at home. I would have put it more towards a market rate, but I understand there's strong bipartisan support to do it at no cost, so I got to take a look at that and make sure it fits within the budget.
If there isn't, if the clock runs out on the cannabis legalization bill, are you prepared to call a special session yourself to bring the legislature back at some point in the summer or later in June to take up that legislation?
Yeah. Well, I don't know the nuances of all that. I just know we got a job to do, and hopefully we get it done by the end of tomorrow. If it takes an extra couple days, get the job done.
Were you surprised that there could be Republican support on the budget? Obviously, they don't like new taxes, but on a budget that they didn't negotiate themselves, are you surprised that some of them may support it?
I think it's a good budget. It's yeah. They ever use text messages around here?
6657 as amended, House Schedules A and B. Immediate roll call vote in the Senate. On House Bill 6657 as amended. Immediate roll call vote in the Senate.
Say that again? Oh, now let's wait for Chris.
Hello, Governor. Oh, okay. No, what I was asking you was, or what I was trying to ask you was, were you surprised that there could be Republican support? You started to answer it, and here we are.
No, I'm not. It's a good budget. It's a budget that makes healthcare more affordable, education more affordable, holds the line on taxes with an emphasis upon economic growth. I mean, those are principles that everybody supports. Republicans certainly support them.
Governor, have you been told that there's enough support for your truck mileage tax?
Yeah, that will pass.
In both chambers, you've been told that?
I sure hope so, yeah.
Early today, House Minority Leader Candelora had asked that there be an investigation into how that marijuana bill came together.
This is House Bill 6657 as amended by House Schedules A and B. Immediate roll call vote in the Senate.
I'm not sure we need any.
Bill 6657 as amended by House Schedules A and B. Immediate roll call vote in the Senate.
And that's all I'm going to say on that subject. Thank you.
You guys have not sure you need any investigation? Go right ahead.
I'm not sure we do. I think if there was a problem there, they got it out, they cleaned it up. It's a good bill. It's been thoroughly negotiated. It's been in front of the legislature for many, many months now. It's an issue that we've been debating for years. It's an issue that I ran on, thought it was time. It's something that all of our neighboring states have resolved. I like to work in conjunction with my neighbors when I can. I think it's time to do it.
How critical is it for transportation funding for this highway user tax to be adopted?
Look, it's critical. I mean, as you know, we were underwater for most of the year in our transportation fund. Then things came back a little bit. We know that the federal government and Mayor Pete, or Commissioner Pete, whatever he is, transportation have significant resources. We got to be able to pay our way. And people around here all support me when it comes to roads and bridges and the investments we got to make. Nobody can ever agree on how to pay for anything. So I think this is something that has strong support, and I think it's going to pass.
If the cannabis bill does not pass before a special session or something because of these Republican concerns about process, how do you think voters will view that? Do you think voters will put that on the Republicans, or it's got wide support?
Yeah, I think it's got wide support. They say it's just another delay, and hurry up and make up your mind. Let's get this state moving again.
Immediate roll call vote as recorded in the Senate. House Bill 6657. Immediate roll call vote in the Senate on House Bill 6657. As amended by Schedule A and B. Immediate roll call vote in the Senate.
Governor, are you going to skip the address to a joint session since I don't think they're comfortable doing a joint session still?
I don't know. I hadn't thought too much about that. If they'd like me to come in and say, job well done, you got the bill passed on time, you got our priorities set, happy to do it.
Okay.
I don't care.
You could always tape something on Studio Ned over here.
We're moving on from that. Hey, everybody, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Governor.
6557 will be voted on.